остров Сент-Люсия. И сегодня я вас познакомлю с одной древней профессией.
Hi Israel.
Hello.
It's a very interesting name you have. Where did it come from? Israel. It's not uncommon. It's very uncommon name.
That name was given to me in Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah, I lived in Jamaica for about 10 years. Some guys came up to me one day and said, "You, Israel, Israel."
Okay.
And that name stayed with me from that time up to this time.
You're so interesting person, and your profession, Thatcher, is so uncommon, so rare. And is it rare here as well in St. Lucia?
No, it's a kind of undying profession. It has, like the elderly people that used to do this kind of work, they're probably not alive anymore. And the younger generation, the world has been modernized, so, But there's still hope that culture can be revived, because this is cultural way of life,
Yeah.
40, 50 years ago, this was all the people used to use. They used to call it paisad,
Yeah, and how long have you been doing it, roofs?
I've been doing, as a matter of fact, I've been working with the material for years, but I started touching about 25 years ago.
Okay. And did you
I started using the material for roofs about 25 years ago. But before, I would use it to make mats and other artifacts from the same material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where did you get this straw? Does it grow in fields or?
This material is grown. It's grown in swampy areas. It's grown in areas that where the land is movable. They use it to prevent erosion, because it's very fibrous. The roots are very fibrous. And most along the highways, because the side of the highways, when the rain falls, the land, you get lots of flooding. But with the grass, the roots of the grass holding the soil, it kind of prevents that kind of flooding. Etc.
Yeah, that's interesting. But what would be the most challenging, the hardest part of this job?
Well, the actual process of using the touch, we do it in phases. The primary phase is cutting the material, okay?
Yeah.
And after you cut it, it has to dry for about 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
And after it is dried, it changes its color from green to a kind of golden yellow, right? And at that point now, we have to clean it. We have to take all the, I call it the wheat and the tear. It's the same process as the wheat and the tear. you must remove the tear from the wheat to make it edible.
Yeah.
So for someone to use actual grass, you have to clean it out. And then after it is cleaned, it is prepared into bundles so it can be laid on the roof. Right? Just like the process of thatching any part of the world, you know, you put it on in layers.
What does make you happy? I just noticed you're a very happy person, and what does it? What do you usually? It's your job or something else? Keep you smiling all the time, and
it's a kind of spiritual work that keeps you alive. You get a lot of energy. You get a lot of spiritual energy from doing this kind of work.
Yeah.
Because you know it's with the hand, and you don't speak a lot. You have to be focused
and connected.
Yeah,
with
because
the
you know
universe.
they have some snares along the way. I've got loads of cuts on my hands. The grass is known also as a razor grass. It cuts you like a razor.
Oh wow!
If you're not careful. Whilst cleaning, the process of cleaning, you have to be very careful. Cutting, you have to be very careful. I've lost this. I've lost that. Cutting. The minute you lose
and
your
it's quite
concentration.
thick grass. I touched it. It's quite thick. Yeah. So
It's quite
my
thick.
guess cut can be deep. Yeah.
Oh yes. I've had cuts where I just have to drop the knife and then after it's okay. But you know, you have to be very careful going about the preparation. You know.
And how long would it take you to build roof? Like we have this beautiful bar behind us with quite a massive roof.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
know you made it.
Yes,
So
I'm
how
repairing
long-
it. I'm replacing the
Oh,
grass.
you're repairing. But
Yeah.
if it would be like from the very beginning, how many days? Or
Well, it
weeks?
depends on the size. The finish depends on the amount of grass you're going to use. This is a couple of thousand bundles of grass to finish the entire roof. This is about 40 by 20, 40 in length by 20.
Okay.
It takes a time. It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time, and you got to go along it.
But roughly
You know, one day.
weeks?
Well, the size of this roof is going to probably take about a month.
A month. Yeah.
To
Okay.
get all the material prepared, gathered. You know, as I tell you, it takes time.
Yeah.
And you must. I just love this work.
Yeah. I know.
I love this work more than getting paid for it. Yeah.
I also know you mentioned before that you built your own house
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
It's
I've
made
done a
of
couple.
wood and straw. Yeah. What else did you use?
I use bamboo for the walls, ordinary wood
Yeah.
for the floor. Right. That is if it is elevated off the ground about 1-2 feet off the ground. But mine is built at an angle, so I have different levels. And I've built a couple. I've done poolside instead of using zinc
Yeah.
for the covering of a roof by the pool. I use the grass to cover it. You know, it's kind of cooler.
Yeah.
If you're in the sun by the pool, you don't want to be sweaty. So the grass is, you know,
Yeah.
it's eco, etc.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, amazing. What would be your typical day? Like, what time? Are you early bird? Do you get up early usually?
Oh, well, I do a little gardening. So the first thing I do is check the plants. But I haven't been home for a day, so you got to check the garden every day because things will overgrow.
But do you get up with sunshine usually, together with sun, or you like to stay?
A little before the sun.
Pardon?
Before the sunrise.
Before.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's always best to rise with the sun. Prepare yourself for the journey.
Oh, lovely.
Every day the sun is a journey.
Yeah.
From sunset, from sunrise to sunset, then sunrise. The 12-hour
Yeah.
that makes up a day. You have 12 hours of sunrise
Yeah.
and 12 hours of sunset.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. So when the sun is down, would you go to bed or you would stay?
No, you prepare for the sunrise the next day.
Okay, and how do you prepare yourself?
By, like recalling what you did for the day,
Oh, that's very beautiful.
right?
way.
From the sunrise to the sunset. It's a certain amount of energy that you work with nature. And as the sun sets, you kind of like prepare for the sunrise. As the sun does, as the sun sets, it graces the sunrise.
Yes. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to leave a message to the world, it's your time. Probably.
A message to the world.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I think it's the only message I have to give. It pertains to culture. All the nations have to recapture their culture. That is the only way we're gonna attain a level of peace. As His Majesty Haile Selassie says, there will be no peace until fleeting illusions to be pursued, but never attained. Until philosophies, bigotry, etc. And this is something that we have to take into serious consideration. Not wars and racism and who's black and white and who's rich or poor. Your culture is predominant. That's what life is about. You know, doing good and your culture, and vice versa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Speaking with you apart. I pity I can say auf Wiedersehen in Russian.
Oh, до свидания. Oh, пока. Пока.
Пока.
Yes.
Okay. Пока. Oh. One of the items that can be made from the grass.
This is good for kitchen or
Yeah.
over the countertop for hot pans.
When you're having dinner, you put your mat,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Итак, мой репортаж подходит к концу, и я очень надеюсь, что вам было интересно. Пишите в своих комментариях, что вы думаете о просмотренном кино. И также подписывайтесь на мой канал, поскольку впереди вас ждет еще много всего интересного. Во всяком случае, я постараюсь это организовать. До новых встреч! С вами была Анна. Постойте, кое-что напоследок.